Hello, everybody. We're live here at Money 2020. I am Sarah Snell-Cook, your host at the Credit Union Connection. I'm here today with Laura Broderick. Welcome.
Thank
with
you.
Abrigo. And tell us a little bit about yourself and the company.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for talking to me today, Sarah. So I'm Laura Broderick. I'm the Chief Marketing and Strategy Officer for Abrigo. I've been at the company about 7 years. I'm based out of Austin, Texas. So this is my second time to Money 2020. It's been great. A little bit about Abrigo, would that be helpful?
Yeah,
so we are a technology company that sells technology to banks and credit unions all in the United States. We have about 2,400 customers, of which about 500 are credit unions. We're just super excited to be here. We sell compliance technology like anti-fraud detection and anti-money laundering, as well as lending software to credit unions all across the U.S.
Yeah, and fraud, of course.
Fraud is
huge topic right now.
I know.
So I get you guys are staying busy.
Yes.
What are you hearing from your credit union customers?
Yeah, so what is surprising to me, we launched our updated fraud platform about 2 years ago, and our first payment type that we really focus on is check fraud. And you would think people aren't writing checks, but they are. And you know who loves checks are forgers.
Yeah.
So we've actually seen a lot of success with our check fraud capture. And these checks that are being manufactured or manipulated, thousands and thousands of dollars that are hitting the balance sheet of the credit union or the profit and loss statement of the credit union. So it's a bad reputation. It's obviously a horrible customer experience or member experience, and it's really bad for the financials for the credit union. So we've just, I think people are surprised to see how much check fraud is still happening. We also do wire fraud, and we're launching ACH fraud a little bit later this year. So, yeah.
So wire fraud, since I don't want to make this political, but since we've become more of a nationalist state, are you seeing more fraud, or has there been an uptick last year or so?
Well, one of the things we've unfortunately seen is an increase in elder fraud. And specifically where there's account takeovers or spam and phishing and encouraging folks that are older in particular to wire money to unknown people. And they do it under the threat of bodily harm to family members.
Right.
So we're seeing that continue to uptick. And credit unions, obviously, because they serve so many consumers, have a high percentage of their member base tend to be in that population.
Right.
So we've just seen an uptick in that. It's super sad and incredibly kind of infuriating that people are taking advantage of elders.
Yeah. Another reason for Crane is to try and get younger members. That's awful. Anyway, so with the fraud increases, is that something that, well, how do you all keep up with, I mean, obviously AI is combating it and AI is coming at you. How do you keep up with that?
Well, it's funny because the fraud, we're getting better at detecting fraud, but the fraudsters are getting better at perpetrating the fraud. So you've got to really stay on top of it. And it's really about, you've probably noticed that you have to do a lot more authentication where you need to check on your phone before you do things on your bank account. So people are embedding just multiple layers of security, and so our system supports that as well. So that our credit unions can give their members ease that they're never going to communicate with them unless it's like, you're never going to get an outreach from a credit union saying wire money to this person. So there's just multi-layers of authentication and security that are going in place. And I think the value of credit unions too, they really get to know their customers and their members, and so it's that personal relationship. So there's just also just better communication, right? And just better, there's a lot of financial literacy that a lot of folks are doing as well, just to try to help people be aware that AI is out there. I don't know if you've ever gotten some of these calls, some of these AI bots.
I have not yet.
So eerily like people you might know, so it's pretty spooky.
I saw it on a TV show recently, and I was like, oh my God, I totally would have fallen.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because, I mean, and that's like they're striking right at the heart of what
they
people
do
care about.
And it goes across all education bands, it goes across income bands, because they're predators. Like these forgers and these perpetrators are absolute predators, and they run troll farms and they're going after folks deliberately.
Right. Let's turn to something happier.
I love it.
Well, we could kind of combine the two, lending fraud, but no. So how we've kind of seen like liquidity be an issue for credit unions and others for the last few years. And so how do you work with Cranes to help, maybe not improve that, but you've got to be able to lend, right? Because that's part of what you do.
Yeah.
So like, how do you work with Cranes in that regard?
Well, I think the big thing that credit unions, the good ones, the ones that are attracting new members and attracting deposits, really focus on the member experience.
Right.
And they really think about both the in-person experience, but more importantly, the digital experience, and making it easy to come on board at the credit union and then offer a good rate for your deposits, and then make it easy to actually access a loan, whether that's a mortgage or another type of consumer loan. You just told me you have a motorhome. If somebody wants to buy a motorhome. So really helping members finance some of these purchases and not making them jump through a bunch of hoops. So attracting the deposits, bringing in great member experiences, making it easy to do business with. I mean, some of these bigger banks, it's just so hard to get a person on the phone, right? And so I think the relationship the credit unions have in their community, coupled that with, they tend to be more progressive in doing digital experience upgrades. I think it's really important to really attract, particularly the younger generations.
Right. Yeah, I know my kids get frustrated.
You have to have a mobile app.
Yeah, and there is no, almost no primary financial institution anymore either. And so, like, how do you combat that? Again, it's about member experience, because I feel like that's more important than your rates or anything else. Or, Cindy, who's always behind the counter talking to you.
Well, it's so interesting. I was talking to folks at MasterCard, and they're seeing like what they call the creator class. So if you guys are ever on TikTok, all these content creators, and they're out, they have their own business, building content, driving influence, but they don't really have any assets or collateral to speak of, but they need funding to kind of get their business going. So a credit union that really understands them and understands their situation can be in a better position to help extend the loan too. So I think really understanding the shifts in the workplace and how the younger generation are doing multiple jobs oftentimes, or trying to start up their own content job. And it's just a different world right now for young folks in particular, starting in their first jobs. Yeah,
I mean, I know our kids are that age, and like our daughter is talking about, she's so sick of her job.
Yeah.
She's like, maybe I'll go do this or that as her own business. And also I see where they're going more blue collar. Like college is one, too expensive, three, or two barely worth it.
We need technical trades folks.
Oh yeah.
And it's a skill that will not be replaced by AI. Right? My nephew works at Total Wines, and I
got to get to know your nephew.
I know. But he didn't envision that with his college degree, but he's really appreciates the retail experience and getting that experience. He's already been promoted to manager. But again, I don't know that was what he envisioned, but it's a really important experience for him to get.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's so much harder to get some of these other kind of corporate jobs these days, just because it's such a changing landscape.
Oh yeah, and it's changing by the minute. Nobody knows what's going to happen with trade deals and everything else. So do you guys follow lending and how you expect it to go, and what are you foreseeing for 2026?
One of the things we're really kind of keeping an eye on with the interest rates will we see a rebound in construction? Whether that's for residential or commercial real estate, and so that'll impact, will the construction industry start to come back? The tariffs are influencing timber and some of the other major supplies, but we have such a housing shortage. Where I live in Austin, affordable housing is a huge issue.
Oh yeah.
And so with the interest rates, people aren't leaving their current homes, and so there's just this like limbo. And so as interest rates continue to drop, you'll see more fluidity in the market. The construction will be able to kind of start building houses again. So we're keeping an eye on that. We're looking at small businesses, and a lot of credit unions are getting more into member business lending, specifically to small businesses. And so they're being hit by also the tariffs. Some of this just access to capital has been a real concern. So again, as the interest rates continue to drop, that should ease up, and they should have more confidence in their ability to secure working capital and kind of get their business growing or even start a new business. So we're kind of keeping an eye on that. And then just looking at, SBA loans. We don't really know where that's going to go.
Right.
So there's just so many different variables. But I think people are pretty optimistic. It's good to see like businesses are continuing to grow. But with all the recent layoffs happening in corporate America, that's just such a stressor on the system. Obviously, the government shutdown, huge stressor on the system.
You'll end up having a lot more gig economy workers, and yeah, for sure. And then maybe people, it'll turn the other way because there'll be too many small businesses. And what is your purpose for being here at Money 2020 today?
Oh, it's a great question. I really appreciate seeing all of the energy in the room and understanding what are the key trends that are facing banks and credit unions, as well as the startups that we're seeing. So we're an established business. We're over 20 years old, but we're always looking to see what's the next and greatest technology that's coming out. I manage partnerships as well, so I'm always seeking cool companies to partner with. And I just think it's important to be out there talking to people. You know, I feel like during the pandemic, we got so used to just being in our houses. So I appreciate, I mean, it's exhausting, but I appreciate all the conversations with prospective credit unions that could become Abrigo clients, with existing customers. And so that's just really gratifying. I've been spending a lot of time asking folks what's on their plans for 2026, what's top of mind in terms of areas of growth and concerns and that type of thing. So
and what would you tell a credit union person about why they should come to Money 2020?
To this conference? I think it's just, well, I think credit unions do such a great job of thinking about the digital experience for their members. And that's not just how your website or your mobile application appears, but it's all of the different products that you want to offer to members. It's thinking about AI to make your customer experience better, to kind of enhance the member experience that humans are doing and providing. So I think it also gives a great opportunity to kind of see what are the technologies, who's using what, and then have conversations. Like, it's such a great way and such an easy way to have awesome talks with fellow credit unions across the country. And
I think too, when credit unions get in on that early stage, they might be able to have more influence on what's going to be the outcome of that product. So I always allow my guests final thoughts. What would you like to leave our credit union audience with today?
Oh, well, I'm just so thrilled to be here. And, you know, as I get to talk to folks, I'm always, you know, we have 5,000 credit unions in America, which is awesome. So I'd love an opportunity just to get to talk to more of them. So hopefully this will reach several of them. And just, I'm really interested in understanding how Abrigo can help better meet their needs and what products and services would be useful to them. So we can kind of bring that to them and make it super easy to use.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Sarah. Thank you.